Hey there, friends and enemies, JoPaWrites here once again, and today we have another tier list video for you. This one ranking the Destiny 2 exotics that are in the game as of the 30th anniversary update. If you enjoy the video, hit that like button, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Helps me out tremendously, shows you want to see more content of this nature. I will be throwing out a lot of tier lists going forward, a lot of Destiny 2 content. So either one, if you enjoy, definitely hit that like button, comment, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. Helps with the algorithm, and we're just going to jump into it. Now, today we're ranking all of these exotics, and I can't wait because currently is what we're ranking them based off of. I know some of these weapons have been better or worse in the past, but for me, I want to go based off purely where they stand in the current meta, as well as potentially what we'll see from them come Witch Queen. First off, Ace of Spades. Ace of Spades is always a solid option. It's always a good, solid weapon. And I'm going to throw it a B tier. I know a lot of people love it. A lot of people enjoy rocking it even when it's not the meta. But overall, it's good but not great. Anarchy was once the GOAT for PvE content. S tier, absolutely. As of right now, it's not being used at all. But I'm going to put it in C tier because with any kind of update to grenade launcher damage or grenade launcher buffs like we've seen with other mods in past seasons, Anarchy is going to be absolutely insane again, so that's something to keep in mind. Arbalest. This is going to be a little bit of a controversial one. I think Arbalest, for PvE content, especially right now, is S tier. And the reason for that, it now has anti-barrier intrinsically. It shreds shields. It is a great weapon all around for using in endgame content with champions and all that kind of good stuff. I think people are sleeping on it right now, and eventually they're going to see that it's absolutely one of the best weapons in the game for that. Now, this is an interesting one. I'm gonna save that. Black Talon. Black Talon is a fun weapon to use in PvP, but it's D tier. When's the last time you really saw somebody use Black Talon? It's just non-existent. And it's really unfortunate because it is such a fun weapon. But now we have Soulless Scar, which does the same thing for Solar, but it's just better and it's not an exotic. So hopefully this gets a buff eventually, or they rework it a little bit. Borealis. Nobody uses this. It's really sad to see that it's fallen so hard, but it should be a good weapon theoretically. You would think that with being able to change the elemental types, it'd be good. It's just not, and that's really, really unfortunate. Cerberus, B tier. Cerberus is extremely underrated, especially in PvP. It's okay in PvE with some of the mods you can use on it, but ultimately PvP is where I would recommend using it, and it is a perfect counter to Shotgun Apes. Cold Heart. D. I mean, if we get trace rifle mods and stuff in the future for buffing damage, maybe, but like, I don't know. I just, it's the least effective of the trace rifles in my opinion. And I remember the old Cold Heart meta against Callus and Leviathan, but for now it's just not a Crimson. Crimson for me has been one of my favorite weapons since it released in Curse of Osiris. I've used it endlessly, and it always feels like it's viable regardless of what the meta is, right? It's never going to be at the top tier, but it always feels good, right? So for that reason, I'm going to throw it in the B tier. Darcy, F. I mean, I don't think we can argue with that. Nobody uses this weapon, and it's really unfortunate that the snipers in general, I feel like since the sniper nerfs, are just so far down bad that it's not worth using any of them, especially as an exotic slot. I believe this is Deathbringer. See, fun, useful, not the best, not the worst. I'm trying to think. Some of these weapons, I think I've got to remember which ones they are. But yeah. So that's where the C, I think, is good for. It's fun, but it's very niche. Is this? See, I can't recognize. Ariana's Vow, I think, is A tier. Highly underrated weapon. And one that I think, again, the versatility that it provides in champion level content. If you're looking at especially soloing lost sectors and stuff, it's one of my go-tos, and I think it's extremely valuable. Fighting Lion, C, it's fine. It can be used. It can be really annoying in PvP, but overall, it's not all that good. Graviton Lance, I think another C. It's again, it's a weapon that I wish was better, especially in PvE. If that if it was just like, I know you can use it with champion mods and everything, but it just does not hit very hard. We've power scaled so much with some of the newer stuff that it just does not feel all that good. Ha. Yoan, let's S tier maybe. Nah, I think it's a B. It's a great new player friendly weapon. It's actually better than expected damage when you're in PvE content, but you can't use it against champions. You can't use it in any kind of like grandmasters or anything like that for the most part. So, although you can now this season a little bit, but it's probably not worth it. Izanagi's. This is the one that used to be here, S tier, absolutely, and now it's D tier again. Snipers are just not worth using in any kind of content for your exotic slot right now. It's just not worth it, and that's really unfortunate. So, see, this is Cold Heart, but this is, I don't know what. This must be Divinity. Divinity is A tier. Anti Overload, the buff to damage that it gives. Again, it's a weapon that if you have it is extremely useful and versatile in end game type content. So that's why I think it deserves A tier rank. Is Hard Light. Hard Light was real meta in PvP for a while, but now I think it's about average. Nothing spectacular about it. So, actually, I think I'm gonna drop it to D tier because I think it's actually below average at this point. Personally, this is bad juju, right? I always have I always have the ornaments on my guns, so sometimes I forget what they look like. That's gonna be C tier. It's fine, nothing spectacular. What was this Lemonarch? This is A tier. I think for especially this season with overload bows, with it being kind of nasty in PvP, all around is very, very good. I'm not willing to put it in the S tier, but I think some of the complaints about how good it is in PvP are overblown. It's more annoying than really good, in my personal opinion. Legend of Accurus, D tier. I wish it was better. I would love to use a triple shotgun build effectively, but it's just not it. Leviathan's Breath, I think, is also just not. It doesn't do the damage to justify keeping other exotic weapons out of your slot. Lord of Wolves, again, another one that used to be crazy meta in PvP. And now I think is actually average. I don't think it's terrible. It's usable. People don't use it. But Lumina, this is the most disappointing weapon on this list for me. And the reason... Wait, is this Malfeasance? I think this is Lumina. I think this one's there. Okay. So, I got them crossed, but Malfeasance, again, when it first dropped, the damage over time was really cool. I really enjoyed it, but it's so niche, it's just not really effective. Lumina is even worse. I was so excited for a weapon that would allow you to play like a healer role or like a support build, and it just is not it, and it's unfortunate. Merciless, my favorite gun of all time, early on in year one Destiny 1 or Destiny 2, but now unfortunately is relegated to down there. Mida, the Mida is here. It always it feels like it's always always viable in always viable in. Sorry, I had those swapped again. I don't recognize them right off the jump. And then it feels like it's always viable in PvP content, and it's always annoying, but never like super great. Same thing with Monte Carlo. I feel like I could bust out my Monte Carlo and be effective with it, but it's never gonna be a dominant weapon. This pains me because I do not have it, but I think this is, especially this current season, I think it's S tier. It's so good. Outbreak Perfected, I do enjoy using, but I don't think is anything above, like, better than average, to be honest. I think it's good. I remember when everyone was trying to say it was the next DPS meta, but it just never shook out that way. Polaris Lance, I can honestly not remember the last time I saw people consistently running Polaris Lance, to be honest. Oh, wait, I forgot. We got to put Telesto S tier just because of how often it breaks the game. I feel like it is the most meme-heavy gun in the game, and I absolutely love it. Prometheus Lens. Let's see. Again, it is what it is. It's fun to use. It can be okay, but it's just not all that great. And every time a new exotic comes out, it kind of outstrips the old ones and some of these other. What I'm realizing is a lot of the older exotics need some TLC for sure. Rat King, C. C for shenanigans. Like, that's what it's good for. It's good for fun. It's hilarious. And I really enjoy it. Risk Runner. Risk Runner is B because it always seems to pop back up. There always seems to be some viable content where Risk Runner is good. If we get a meta where it's like arc heavy weapons in PvP or PvE, it tends to come back around. So for that reason, I think it's going to be firmly in the B rank. Skyburners was so much fun when the season where we had a lot of Cabal and it was I think anti-champion mods with the scouts. It was a blast, but overall it's an average gun for most of the content that we're going to face. If we get another abundance of Cabal, then maybe this comes back in style. But Sleeper's an A right now. I think it's really good. It's just not as good as 1K Voices, unfortunately. Sturm. Sometimes I'll see somebody with a Sturm and they'll absolutely wreck me. And that's why I rank it as a C, but I just don't see it that often. Sunshot, I think, is underrated, personally. I think I don't enjoy running hand cannons that much, but it's a gun that I think is really good overall. And a lot of people sleep on just because it is one of the older weapons. Suros. Suros is another one that consistently is viable, can be used if you really want to, but doesn't shine at any particular time. It does like very rarely, but not a whole lot. Sweet Business. I think Sweet Business is kind of underrated. I will put on an Acting War Rig. I'm a Titan main, so for me, Sweet Business is the perfect weapon to throw on an Acting War Rig and just go to town and never have to reload. The builds where I run this with a LMG in my heavy slot, just never reloading, just constant firing. That's what I love, and it's so much fun. Terrible is another one that I think is underrated, but overall is not. Like, it can be okay, but is not consistently good, unfortunately. Chaperone. This is A tier. Chaperone is always one of the best shotguns in the game, But now that they nerfed other shotguns, Chaperone shines so much because it's very difficult to play against if you're running a legendary shotgun besides like Fellwinter's, which is obviously a sunset. So the people that are really good with Chaperone though are the most annoying players because it feels like they can hit you from a mile away and absolutely destroy you. So Colony used to be fun, but I'm gonna say it's D tier. I just don't think it's all that good. It's just kind of another meme weapon that can be fun at times. Huckleberry is going to be B. It's better than Terba in my opinion, and it can be super useful in both PvE and PvP depending on that content. Jade Rabbit. I'm gonna go D. I just don't see Jade Rabbit all the time. So it's just not a weapon that I feel like I run into that often or I end up wanting to use that often either. Last word. Last word is probably a B, especially for PvP content. It's good. It's a weapon that I think a lot of people like, but not my jam. Prospector D. There was a time where this gun was really, really good, but that time is long past, and I just don't think that we're going to see that come back around anytime soon. Queensbreaker. F. When is the last time anybody used this weapon? I want to try to go back and use it, especially now with Linear Fusions getting the buff and everything. But yeah, I can't remember the last time that I've seen it be used. Wardcliff, still your standard annoying PvP loadout. Thorn, that's another one that I think is good. I feel like, especially with the synergy with the Warlocks, it can be really good in PvE, but also it can be good in PvP as well. Damn, there are a lot of these. I didn't realize. I think this is, what is this, Thunderlord? This is the one, again, I'm going to put it in C, but it's one I wish was better because, again, throwing on Acting Warrig with that bad boy is so much fun. Tractor Cannon. That's a B. It's super useful, especially if you're not running, if you don't have a Hunter or if you don't have another debuff, if you need a quick kind of debuff. It's effective, especially when you're running solo content and you want to maybe throw a debuff on a big enemy and then use like a Thunder Crash or something of that nature. Let's see. Is this... Trinity Ghoul? Okay. I just made a video on Trinity Ghoul. I think Trinity Ghoul's... Hold on. I think Trinity Ghoul is a B for me personally. I like it a lot. I think it's really versatile for ad clear. I think you can use it. Now that we can use exotics with anti-champion mods, I think it can be very effective. But overall, it's not going to be an absolute meta changer. Truth was so fun when it first came out, and now it feels like others just are better than it, unfortunately. I'm going to actually put it in D tier. I just don't see it. Two-Tailed Fox. I like Two-Tailed Fox better than the Truth. Truth has obviously the better tracking. Two-Tailed Fox is just going to do more damage. Vigilant Swing. Again, this is another one that used to be so great, but is now pretty decidedly average, maybe a little bit above. Wave Splitter. Again, I think mid-tier. It's fun to use. It can be okay, but not that great. This pains me. I feel like this gun should be a lot better, but it's just not. It's not it. It's not the one. And snipers, as you can see, the exotic snipers need some love. Bad. Wishender D. I mean, it's niche. It's cool if you want to use it. All that kind of good stuff. It's just not the best option. This is the World Line. Used to be used for skating, now is just not viable. And anyway, okay. Yeah, this is a good machine gun. I do like it. I'm drawing a blank on the name because there's too many weapons here and I just forgot. Um, but I think I used it for the day one Vault of Glass when I was needing to take down the oracles really quickly. So yeah, it's a solid weapon. I don't know why I'm not able to remember what it's called, but I'll get back to that. Bastion. I actually liked Bastion a lot in PvP for a while, and now I think it's okay in PvE, and you can put champion mods on it, all that kind of stuff. But wait, I think did they add an intrinsic champion, anti-champion perk to it? But I don't remember. That being said, it's okay, not great. Devil's Rune, aka 100 voices. See, I think you're gonna see the majority of this be C tier because they're okay, but not great weapons. And limited A and limited F. Polaris Lance. Or sorry, Symmetry. D. Same thing with Fourth Horseman. D. And Tommy's Matchbook D. These are all weapons that I wish were better, and at times have been okay. They can be fun to use, but just ultimately are not that good. I don't know why. Alright, I'm going to have to scroll up a little bit. Okay, Heir Apparent is going to be... This one might be controversial, but I think Heir Apparent's an A. Reason being, it's the best, one of my favorite machine guns. It's a lot of fun, and it's kind of annoying. Like, probably one of the more annoying weapons to face in PvP. Traveler's Chosen. This one used to be A tier for me, but now I think it's a C. I used to love it, but now with the changes to abilities and stuff, I just don't think it's as effective. Wither Horde is going to be A for me. One of the more versatile weapons, whether it's in PvP, PvE, all that kind of good stuff. It's very, very good, and I think people get annoyed by it, but that's just because it is fun. Ruinous Effigy. This one I'm gonna put C, but like, it's fun. It's a fun weapon. It's not really effective for anything, but it's a lot of fun. Cloud Strike. This is where I'm gonna differ from everybody. Cloud Strike for me is an A. It's my favorite sniper in the game. The shenanigans you can pull with it and Iron Banner is unmatched, and it's just great. Not gonna ever be the meta, but I think it's gonna be effective all the time. Duality. I think Duality is a B. It's solid, especially with the rest of the shotguns getting nerfed. Let's see. The Salvation's Grip, let's go there. What are we doing with this? Has anyone used this besides to just like climb shit? I don't see it. I don't see it at all. Let's see. Lament. It's a B. It's good. It was really good when it came out, but I think it gets a little outstripped now. Hawkmoon, I think, is another B. Dead Man's Tale, that's going to be an A. Dead Man's Tale is one of those weapons that is fun to use. The way they designed it is really good. But ultimately, I don't know. Like, I think people are always going to be annoyed by it in PvP unless it's, like, really undervalued. Oh, let's go right here. Gala Horn. S tier. I mean, with the catalyst, it's fun, it's strong, it's useful in PvE and PvP. I think it's better than Wardcliff in PvP right now. I absolutely love it. Vex. Now, Vex is one that I'll go next. That one was a S for me. It was great in every type of content until the nerf. But now I think it's a B. I think it's still useful. Forerunner C. Good, not great. Aegers. Aegers I think is underrated. And I think I'm going to throw it up there in the B category. I think a lot of people sleep on that gun, even though it's fairly newer, but it's great for freeze builds. Tikus. Tikus is a B, man. You can do a lot of damage with Tikus, especially as a primary weapon. I think it's very, very valuable, very good. Lawrence. I know a lot of people hate on this, but it is a B tier weapon. It's solid. It's not the best, not the worst. I know it's annoying in PvP, but I don't think it's all that broken. Aesthesia is a C. It's fun, but not great. I think this is No Time to Explain. I wish this one is going to be here. I wish it was better, but it's just not. And this is a weapon that I don't have, but I also don't see people run that often. I'm going to put it at C, but I just don't. I don't have it. I've never. It's like one of the only weapons that I don't have that I've never been able to run. So I'll just put it in C for average. Overall, I don't know why this is lagging like this, but overall, this is gonna be my list. I think I had a lot of fun with it. I'd love to see where everyone else's lists rank. I know I'm going to get some disagreements on this, but this is based across PvE and PvP. I'll post this to YouTube so everyone can check out my thoughts, but I hope you enjoyed the video. My name is JoPaWrites, and I'll catch you all later.